Невозможно просто не заметить. Эта атака была совершена в тот же самый день, когда вступила в силу договоренность о прекращении боевых действий между Израилем и ливанской Хизбаллой. Мы решительно осуждаем данное нападение, в авангарде которого идут террористы, которые признаны таковыми Советом Безопасности Организации Объединенных Наций. Обращаем внимание на то, что среди них много боевиков-иностранцев, в том числе выходцев с постсоветского пространства. Явно не обошлось и без так называемого украинского следа. С учетом поступающих сведений о взаимодействии спецслужб киевского режима с боевиками террористической организации Хаят Тахрир аш-Шам, включая передачу беспилотников, опыта их применения, ну и так далее. Это не первый и, к сожалению, как мы понимаем, не последний регион, где киевский террористический режим будет применять свой преступный опыт. До этого были африканские страны, теперь речь идет о Сирии. Действия террористических группировок, привыкших сеять хаос, разрушения, усугубили и без того напряженную обстановку в Сирии. Не вызывает сомнений, что они не решились бы на подобную дерзкую акцию без подстрекательства и всесторонней поддержки со стороны внешних сил, которые стремятся спровоцировать в Сирии новый виток вооруженной конфронтации, раскручивание спирали насилия. Мы выражаем солидарность с руководством Сирии, ее народом в этой непростой ситуации. Мы подтверждаем нашу приверженность суверенитету, единству и территориальной целостности Сирии. Решительно поддерживаем усилия сирийских властей по противодействию террористическим группировкам, восстановлению конституционного порядка. Активно работаем с международными партнерами в целях обеспечения скорейшей стабилизации обстановки в Сирии, прежде всего задействованием потенциала астанинского формата.
Syrian rebels' capture of Aleppo from President Bashar al-Assad has brought the Syrian civil war back into focus, jolting front lines that were dormant for years. Assad's government has vowed to fight back, and Russia has launched airstrikes in support. H.A. Hellier of the Royal United Services Institute.
I think he will try to crush the rebel advance in whatever way that he can. The question will be whether or not he comes to the conclusion that he won't be able to, hence he's got to engage in some sort of political process.
So who is leading the rebel advance? A group called Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, launched the campaign. Led by Abu Muhammad al-Golani, HTS was formerly called the Nusra Front and was al-Qaeda's official wing in the Syrian war until it broke ties in 2016. It has long been dominant in Idlib, part of the northwest that stayed under rebel control for the past few years. And it's designated a terrorist group by the United States, Russia and Turkey. Another rebel alliance has launched a separate offensive from areas north of Aleppo. They're backed by Turkey and fight under the banner of an armed opposition group called the Syrian National Army. So why has the conflict flared now? Two supporters of the regime, Iran and Russia, are tied up with other conflicts, regionally and in Ukraine. Iran-backed Hezbollah, in particular, which helped Assad's forces defeat the rebels in the past, suffered major blows in its conflict with Israel over the past few months, now halted by a ceasefire. Speaking in Turkey, the head of Syria's main opposition abroad, Hadi al-Bahra, said the preparations to seize Aleppo began a year ago, but were delayed by the wars between Israel and Hamas in Gaza and Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon.
And they saw it's not good to have it while there is a war in Lebanon. So the moment there were a ceasefire in Lebanon, they found that the opportunity is good for them to start.
Syria is partitioned into zones with foreign troops on the ground, including the United States and Turkey. A deal between Russia and Turkey has stabilized the situation in the northwest since 2020. Turkey, whose troops are in the northwest, has also expressed growing frustration with Assad's failure to reach a deal with the opposition to end the conflict.
I think he goes for full brutality. I think he will try to crush the rebel advance in whatever way that he can. The question will be whether or not he comes to the conclusion that he won't be able to, hence he's got to engage in some sort of political process. I think it's too early to tell that. I think that over the coming few days or so, we'll see how strong his reinforcements are actually going to be, and that will define how he moves forward from there. When it comes from the Russians, he's likely to get more than the Iranians, partly because I think the Israelis will try to strike any Iranian redeployment to Syria, less out of trying to help the rebels against Bashar al-Assad. Actually, they've made it very clear that they prefer Assad's regime to continue to survive, but more a concern that those sorts of redeployments could eventually threaten them. I think Russia will try hard. And the question will be, how much are they willing to do, considering they have Ukraine to be concerned about?